Hello everybody and welcome back to twitch.tv/randommania. This is going to be the third of our vodcasts here today on this Zelda 1 Randomizer Pentaforce vodcast marathon. Those of you who have been watching with us from the beginning, thank you very much. We very much appreciate that. Those of you who are just joining us, thank you very much for joining us. So those of you who have been watching us from the beginning, you'll be happy to know we have let Dark Falls escape, and kicking and screaming, we've dragged my broadcast partner into the booth for this one. So you're going to be stuck with me. I'm TGE. My broadcast partner is going to be joining us in a minute. Yes, we finally convinced Krim to do some talking. But before that, we've got Czardia on your left. We've got CrystalSaver on your right. We've got Pink Zelda. We're going to have cotton candy blue hair. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some hype up in here. This is also a round 3 match. Both of our runners are 1 and 1, so the winner of this will go to the 2 and 1 bracket. And yes, you heard me say that correctly. This is a 1 and 1 matchup. That is the wonderful thing about these Pentaforce flags, is the fact that anybody, and I mean anybody, can beat anybody, just because of the nature of how it works. And how it also works is we're going to have level 4 right here on the start screen. So that's going to be something very interesting to take a look at. Looks like Zara is going to go ahead and start a little bit of exploring, whereas Saver is going to go ahead and just continue on to do some overworld exploration. And both of these strategies are viable here. I personally prefer the Saver strategy, and wow. Did you see that, Krim?
I did not, but what do we have?
Well, the Armos item, which was directly below where they started, was the ladder.
Oh, well, that makes things easy, because not only is that one free item, being the ladder under the Armos, but given that they're over by the forest, that actually allows us to go get another free item, which would be our coast item. So if that would happen to be something like the silvers or the bow, well, I mean, that just screams free seed.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're Czardia, oh, was it Raft? Might have been the Raft. I thought it was the ladder. It's hard to tell with Saber's cotton candy palette.
If Saber's saying it's the Raft, considering he's the one racing, I might be inclined to believe it's the Raft.
I will believe it's the Raft. Okay, my bad. Saber grabbed it too quickly for my poor plebeian eyes to process.
So Saber is doing something that you'll see Saber do a lot. A few of our other runners do it as well. Saber saves, appropriately named. Saber saves a lot, and what that will do is that will give him a reference point to come back to if he ever chooses to retry to save some money or save some bombs or anything like that. Now, obviously, he doesn't have any bombs, but having the ability to constantly retry, I would say at this point for Saber, hitting select to go down to save is almost habitual for him.
Yep, so we do have both of our runners here exploring some overworld. Zara going to go ahead and pick up some money there in the top upper right corner. Not the 100 you usually get from vanilla there, but definitely some good money. It's the same 34 that you saw CrystalSaver pick up. This is a vodcast with live commentary. And that's something very interesting. We have vanilla priced arrows, 80 rupees. And I say that because we could have the potential of needing arrows to get to wherever it is we need to get to.
We also have vanilla priced bombs there up at level 5. Very interesting, because that's really not a place you want to see bombs, especially if bombs happen to be a rare shop, because it is so out of the way. But being at 20 rupees, it's something where I think that's going to really drive our runners to try to force bombs rather than go back and purchase them. And really good find for Saber here, level 1.
Level 1 not only being a very good find, but also at the location it is. That's going to give Saber a bit of an advantage. Now, normally, Saber is one of those people who's not necessarily going to explore a dungeon with minimal resources, but considering the location of level 1 and the fact that he's got bombs and it is in fact level 1, he's definitely going to do some exploring around here.
Absolutely. Now we see Gorillas and Wizrobes have sort of started living together, but not the most horrible thing if you can get around them. But
you were saying?
Yeah, that room might tell us differently. So Saber's going to avoid that, not only because it's a nasty room, but also because he would have to spend a key to get down to the feet of the eagle. So we'll see which way he likes to go. Probably going to bomb up here to try to get into the left wing and the head of the eagle.
Yep. And I can confirm on Czar's side, Saber was right, of course, it was the raft. My bad.
Yes, you are.
Wow.
But there we also have our boss in level 1, and that would be the lovely Goma. So if he would potentially be blocking something, that would be kind of rough, but Saber just skips right through it, heads all the way up, and just gets a key out of the head of the eagle, and it's just going to escape level 1 for now and head back later.
Yeah, because the one good thing about that level 1 location is it's very close to the start screen here, so there's no reason to bang your head against a wall when you don't have to, and that's what makes Saber, very, very good. Is he's so comfortable in his ability of this game that he knows he doesn't need to bang his head against a wall like that, so he's just going to go ahead, nope out, and come back later.
Now we are seeing Czardia find the warp spots, and that is useful for him because, well, he has a candle, and now he's going to have a lot better progress across Hyrule. And it also, here, eliminates one of the possible power bracelet spots that he may end up having to search for later on if we're having difficulty finding levels.
Now, of note, that power bracelet spot you saw there, he isn't necessarily locked out from going back into there, because like the diamond staircases, you can clip into those rocks. The positioning to do it's a little bit different than the diamond staircases, but again, keep in mind that this is a vodcast, so it's perfectly acceptable to have our runners from this in here watching, because the results have already been logged and known. So again, for those of you who are just getting here now live for the Twitch broadcast, this is a vodcast, so please do not be alarmed if the name you see on the screen is also a name you see in chat.
Or, later on, potentially a name that you hear talking or tracking.
Yes, but we're not going to go quite Inception levels just yet, are we?
Eventually.
Also, apparently, chat's getting mad at me because I haven't made a pun in 6 minutes.
I'm not complaining.
No, I didn't think you would be.
If anyone is wondering, I do have a permanent implant of my palm in my forehead right now. So, both of our runners are still progressing through. They have candles, so we're going to see a lot of exploration from them. Even though they don't have the sword, they're not going to limit their searching just to these open caves. They're going to route in everything else because with these flags only needing 5 Triforces, one of the biggest things, and I know some of our runners actually route this way, is the gaining of as much information as possible early on and going from there. And there we see some of the Saber strats to pause to get around a lot of fast-moving enemies, such as Armos there.
Yeah, and watching Saber do the pause strats is brilliant because he sacrifices some menuing time. Because a lot of people will use the select swap option. When you have select swap on, the game will no longer pause. So Saber will sacrifice some menu time. Ultimately, using the pause strats will probably save him, a couple of hearts per dungeon at least?
Oh, at least, if not more. Because, blue Wizrobes, red Wizrobes, they can do a lot of damage fast. And we do find level 8 on Czardia's side, down near Vanilla Start, so not bad, especially if you can find some of these items early on. Level 8, one of the 3 levels with 2 items in it, and even though it has Wizrobes and everything else, might not be a bad one to stick his head into a little bit. Typically with these, especially with these bigger dungeons, if you don't have a sword, there's a rule of 6 that many players play by, where you try to go 6 rooms, see what information you can find, if you can find an item, and then go from there. These keys are able to be taken out with a single flame, so he'll just enter and exit to clear out this room to progress to the left a little bit more.
Saber fighting level 2 over on his side, and like we were talking about earlier, level 2, like level 1, is a dungeon. The earlier you find it, the happier you are, because it's small, relatively easy, and holds an item on the ground, which could just be lying on the ground there. So you're definitely happy to find level 2. Whether or not you want to explore it with just 3 bombs and a candle is another question altogether. Saber opting to not do so.
And Czardia did, maybe that wasn't the item, but he was refilling his health so he can damage boost his way to that staircase. He knows that's going to be an item, so he just has to be able to get past Gleeok. The weird thing about Gleeok is the fireballs will do 1 heart of damage, so will the heads when they're loose, but when they aren't loose, you'll notice that it seemed like he didn't lose any health. Well, that's because they take 5/8 of a heart, or not 5/8, 3/8 of a heart away.
Wrong side of the math, buddy.
Yes.
As we mentioned earlier, math is hard.
But he did net the power bracelet out of it, so that will give him exploration to those 3 other power bracelet spots. Remember, we already know that one is an any road. And level 5 for CrystalSaver at the grave.
And that's one of my favorite palettes, is that ice blue sort of frozen style palette. It just, of all the dungeon palettes, it just looks, it has the distinction in my mind of looking both aesthetically pleasing and also having a menacing sort of feel to it, because we've all played RPGs, let's face it, nobody likes ice physics.
Well, we don't get blue, we get this lime green color for level 3, but this was up until level 6, so a lot of levels over here in the Deadwoods Grave area.
Here is the item for Saber almost immediately in level 3.
Well, we can read now, which is great because that will at least let us know what the old men are trying to tell us. One of the new flags that we have introduced to the Randomizer is where a book will actually allow you to interpret old men. Before that, they all say the same empty, meaningless saying.
Which probably has a book joke in it somewhere. Yep, so Saber now opting to explore level 3, and like the exploration of level 1 earlier, I'm gonna go ahead and do this simply because of the location of where it is, and you're not guaranteed to get a recorder to come back here, so it's a fairly easy enemy set, so taking a couple looks around, never the worst thing in the world.
Until you see that.
Until you see that, yeah, no thank you. Yes, the book still has the same effect on the wand. So if we end up with a wand here, you will still have watch the wand burn.
So, Saber is probably going to want to exit 3 after seeing that room because that room is nasty. And yes, he does. He leaves. Well, Czardia picks up the letter. So, letter is actually a much more valuable item in these flags because since we only need 5 Triforce, you're a lot less likely to come across a lot of heart containers in these seeds. So being able to purchase yourself a potion at some point is actually really beneficial because you may be getting to Ganon with only 6 or 7 hearts.
Speaking of bright lime green, that's brighter and limier. Is limier a word?
Well, maybe it is now.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure. But Czardia gonna go ahead and also explore level 2. Saber opted to not do this, which I find interesting. What I also find interesting is we have our cotton candy sword.
I like to think of it as a popsicle sword because, I mean, the blue kind of looks like maybe a popsicle.
I mean, it could be blue raspberry, yes.
So we'll say CrystalSaver found a Rocket Pop.
Ooh, yeah.
So it looks like Saber is going to go ahead and, well, accidentally place a bomb. I think may have been trying to force a bomb at that point, but or just accidentally hit B, but is going to explore a little bit here on Death Mountain to try to find more of these dungeons. Well, we know a lot of dungeons. We don't know a lot of our placements of items yet, so...
We know the book's in 3.
Yes. We know the book is in 3, and we know that the raft is not the ladder.
Right.
We also have seen the power bracelet in 8, and Saber elected to soft lock and then save.
Yep, so the other thing here is there was a mugger room over in level 2, so we'll see if there's a workaround for that, or if we have to go through that. I mean, realistically speaking, there's more than likely going to be a workaround for that in level 2, because you can bomb into every location. So at this point, the only reason we wouldn't be able to is because of Zelda's room, and Saber going to buy some hints here. Aquamentus awaits with a magic key. That raft that we required that I thought was the ladder is not going to be required. And drumroll, please, last hint is 2 has a horrible item.
2 has its vanilla item. So, really, that's some good information from Saber early, because he knows that he'll probably want to go back into 1 anyway because of the relative ease of level 1, even though the enemy set's not the nicest. He knows that it will have a very valuable item in there in the magic key. Level 2, he knows he can just grab the Triforce and get out. And yeah, looks like with his sword, Saber's going to dig back into 1. We'll see how long it takes Czardia to... well, never mind. Czardia already grabbed the blue boomerang.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention it. I was having traumatic flashbacks. Yeah, the traumatic flashbacks were to Saber's race in week 2, where he purposely went out of his way to pick up the blue boomerang because he thought that was the banana I liked.
And I don't know if you noticed, DG, but it seems to be an ongoing thing with these podcasts. Once again, Blue Lamola guard the Triforce.
This has been, like, yeah. I mean, I'm all for, making up memes and danger noodles and squiggles and all of that. But at some point, you just gotta say enough is enough.
So Saber is taking on some blue gorillas right now, still trying to find some of these items and the Triforce out of 1. All the boomerangs flying around is never something that you want to deal with. There is such thing as too much potassium, so Saber doing a good job clearing it out, and does get the compass, which is not a horrible item. It does let you know where the Triforce is and gives you a general direction, or if you're searching for the items, where to avoid. Well, Czardia is now in that Elsa-inspired level 6.
Very much so. So, Cream, do you want to build a snowman?
I do not.
Doesn't have to be a snowman.
I will kick you out of this house.
Bye.
So, while TG does leave and everything, Czardia is going to go ahead and exit level 6. Opts not to do too much with it. Saber does find the staircase in level 1, and using pause buffered clipping will get his any key. So now all those key blocks are no longer an issue for Saber. He can go anywhere he wants at will. Granted that it's not a bomb block or this.
This is a mess. Like, Saber's hoping beyond hope that there is no item in one of these wizard rooms. But we're gonna love the have the compass, walk into a room, don't see anything, and there's no Triforce.
So if level 6 is ice level 5 here is definitely the water version.
Why does it have to be the water temple?
And Saber is going back in with his beam sword now, even though he would have had a beam sword from Up and Aang, but he is going to elect to try to dig out the second item.
I mean, it's definitely a good call here. You're already up at 1. The problem becomes is if these rooms full of whiz ropes decide that they want to guard something. Oh, never mind.
Or you can get extremely lucky and just get that clock. That makes the blue whiz robes a little more trivial.
I want Saber's luck.
I want Saber's playing ability.
Oh.
Hey, speaking of, how about 6 bombs for 94 rupees?
As I said, I want Saber's luck.
Possible item there for Czardia. Cleared out that room first to see if there was any drop, maybe the heart of the Triforce, but now we'll jump into the staircase, and we do not have an item, we just have a transport to another part of level 5. Being vanilla, you know that there's going to be 3 staircases in level 5, 2 will take you to the other one, and the 3rd will hold your item.
Excuse me while I pull my jaw up off the floor after watching Saber expertly avoid those blue whiz ropes.
I would agree, but really anything that Saber does anymore does not surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me, but it still leaves me with my jaw hanging out on the floor like that.
So Czardia, now taking the staircase, we'll head over to another part of level 5. Saber back in this nasty, nasty blue whiz robe room. Doing a really good job of clearing him out, and now we get to see more of his Poshras. Does take a beam, but does elect to reset the room. Very good choice here. Having 14 bombs if you're Saber for blue whiz robes makes things a lot less annoying.
If you're Saber, that's 12 more bombs than you need.
And do we have a ladder block to this item? Saber will at least let us know by killing these keys slowly but surely as they fly their way over. Maybe, maybe not.
No comment, surely.
The clip to get the one key, so now the other one just needs to make its way over. Czardia still making his way through and kind of scoping out the top of level 5 here, but still nothing, and this keys is just toying with Saber's heart right now. I'm sure Saber would really prefer to have the blue boomerang at this point.
Really? Wow.
Well, I mean, look what Zar's doing with it. He's at least clearing out the keys.
Let it go, Krim.
This is the water temple. No, I am surprised that Saber isn't trying to use his candle when the key slows within the 2-tile span that he can get it to. But no, he's just really frustrated right now. He wants to know what that item is.
You know what it's gonna be, right?
It's gonna be the
It's gonna be Lord Banana.
yeah. It's actually a heart container there. So that is actually the heart container of one, which means that our floor item is either the heart container that we just saw, or it's maybe in a Wizrobe room.
There's no maybes about it. It's more than likely in a Goma room. Or that, yeah, I forgot about that.
So Saber is now saving again, and we'll head out while Czardia is now heading into level 3.
And Saber's going to go to level 4, which was right on the start screen.
Yeah, this is a play that you would expect both runners to make. Level 4 is a fairly friendly level, and Saber now having a point of combat definitely makes it a lot easier, but being small, being relatively easy to navigate through unless you get a ladder block, which sometimes happens, you don't mind really diving for, so I would expect both runners to use this for one of their 5 Triforce pieces.
Yeah. Czar going to come across the book here in level 3, but more importantly, I want to give shout-outs to Czardia's, as much as I hate the one he's using, the Banana Foo, to stop all the Wall Masters in place and be able to only have to use one bomb to kill them.
Yeah, Czardia is still without a sword here, is still doing a very good job of exploration. It's definitely not easy having to go through and do all this swordless, so And you'll notice that he is using the boomerang to stun a lot of enemies, just to use the iframes to get through them.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. If you're Czardia at this point, you're 25 minutes into a race. You're racing someone with skill and caliber of CrystalSaver. You don't have a sword yet. You gotta be in the back of your mind thinking, oh, God. Like,
oh, absolutely. And we are seeing him do the same thing here, just grouping all the Guria together. And, well, Fairy again was very nice. Unfortunately, gets too far of a knockback on that last Guria to flame them to death, so he does need to use another bomb. And, well, here we go again.
On my own? Run down the other whatever now?
Anyway, Saber finds the item in level 4, and what do we got here? We have a wand. Very nice pickup. It does allow for even more damage from Saber. But remember, that wand will do fire damage.
It will do it, yep. When all else fails, use Fire Rod. Ooh, Dodongo being Dodongo.
Yeah, Saber using the lesser-known method of killing Dodongos as children, that you can use the actual smoke to stun them. And, well, he will get the Triforce out of level 4 here, so that will put him at 2.
Yep, but that hint in level 2 that we can never decipher as kids, that's what it means.
And how about that Triforce in level 3?
Yeah, Saber was scared away from Key because of keys, but that's a super easy Triforce to get to. I mean, all things considered, all of the, horrible, horrible things that are in that level.
Yeah, 8 blue Wizrobes guard it. At least they don't have to kill them for it.
Oh, there's nothing worse than having a required 8 blue Wizrobe kill. And what's worse, when it's required to get to the Triforce, or when it's required to get to an item?
When it's required to get to an item you think you need, but ends up being the boomerang.
Ouch.
Well, really, there's only 2 items that you would never want to see in these seeds.
And that's both of the
behind that, yeah.
I mean, the red candle also would qualify now.
Yeah, very true. And well, we see our first large secret here at the Forgotten Spawn. That's 145 rupees. Or, okay, I saw my first one. Apparently that's our second one we've seen.
Yeah, you were too busy, probably face-palming on another pun I made. But the good thing for Czardia here is his current location, he'll get the sword next screen. And the little high five as Czardia goes top, CrystalSaver goes bottom. A little high-low action.
Always bet the high.
Bet the pass line, dude.
Cesar now has a method of combat. Well, Saber heads back into level 3, and having the anti-key, that key block situation that he had earlier isn't really going to be much of an issue anymore.
No, not at all. And there's nothing more dangerous in my mind in Zelda Randomizer than giving someone the caliber of CrystalSaver the any key.
I would vote giving someone the caliber of CrystalSaver, Red Ring, and Magical Sword, but
well, true. But the reason I say specifically any key in this instance, as we nearly got a zombie Triforce, is because of the fact that Saber's, as amazing as Saber's combat is, his intuition for routing is second to none. And a lot of times his routing is stopped because of keys. So giving him the ability to use that intuitive routing and not have to worry about resource management is scary.
yeah, and we just see Saber blitzing through areas now. Completed level 3, completed level 1, completed level 4, back into level 5, and will most likely search out the item here because, let's face it, we still have the 3 most essential items still at large.
Right. And he knows the item in 2 isn't worth his time.
Absolutely. So if he can get the item out of 5, and it happens to be one of those big 3, he can elect to possibly, just go grab the Triforce in 2, head to 9, and once he finds it, I don't think
like
found
Czardia just
9.
did.
Yeah, but he'll be able to head to 9 eventually and potentially gamble on bows, silvers, ladder, or 2 of the 3 being in that level.
Right, and the thing to keep in mind is ladder is not necessarily required. It makes things easier, it makes you easy, allows you to route things a lot easier, but ladder may not be required. The only 2 things that are ever required to beat the game, well, 3 technically. You need a sword, you need silver arrows, and you need the bow. Everything else will help you get there. Might be required based on routing, but isn't necessarily guaranteed because I've seen ladderless seeds. I've seen, my favorite one though, and somebody here can attest to it because they were a part of it, was I never bought a candle seed.
Yes, I did never buy a candle in that seed, and that was fun.
But no, that hint that Saber just got is huge. A feat of strength will lead to the heart container. Statistically speaking, by pushing the gravestone, that means this is probably the heart container level. So Saber can probably extrapolate that the item here in 5 is the heart container.
But he is going to search it out just in case, because it can also mean a power bracelet block. So he wants to probably check just to be certain, because if it is not the heart container in 5, that also tells him that he does need the power bracelet.
Right. But he's going to have to pick up this Triforce anyway, because there's no way he can skip around it. So the question's going to be, does he gamble on that information being level 5, or does he go back in?
Looks like he is going back in, and something important to note from our vantage point is we still have level 7 at large. We have seen level 6, but we haven't really dug any of it. And we only have seen 1 item out of 8, but we still have those 3 big items at large, as well as Recorder.
Right. So again, the big thing is going to be at this point. I know we talk about a lot, that this flag set actually gets you a mindset for different styles of routing. And in this flag set specifically, you want to try to avoid the rooms that are going, or the dungeons, that are going to be a lot more difficult to explore. So level 7 being 33 rooms, being very wide open and spread out, tends to be a dungeon that a lot of runners try to avoid. I know for a fact Saber hates digging level 7 if he doesn't have to.
Well, it's not only the fact that it's big, but level 7 has so many solid walls that you are very often given a linear path that you have to figure out, and you end up wasting just as much time trying to bomb and figure out that path as you are exploring or taking out any of the rooms. So that's really where level 7 is such a time sink. Is not only is it the largest dungeon of the first 8, but it also has such linearity, and there is that heart container that we were talking about that is hinted at in its own level.
See, I like it when you find the hint in the level of, hey, my level has this, because it allows you to know immediately, do I have to explore here?
And there actually may have been a little bit more reasoning why CrystalSaver hunted that item out. He was only at 4 hearts. We have not seen that white sword item yet, and trying to get within a better range of guaranteeing yourself that item is very critical. So it was actually not bad for him to hunt that out.
No, we also haven't seen? We also haven't seen what the coast item is.
Correct, because neither runner, even though we have started close to there, has not routed down there because they haven't really felt the need to.
And as you mentioned, Saber going to go ahead and jump into level 6 here. And that's actually a huge bit of info for Saber, because he hasn't been up there all the way yet. So knowing that once he gets what he needs, he has to go up to Death Mountain to find 9, that's great, because now what that tells him is he knew he didn't need the raft, but now he knows to finish the game, unless 7's buried or somewhere, he doesn't need to find any of the other travel items.
Could anything be more laggier than 8 blue gorillas with wand fire?
Yes. 8 blue Lionels.
So he does throw a beam and fire towards the old man. Not only maybe out of frustration a little bit, but also to increment his count. Saber is also very, very good at that.
Wow, Czar, the dodging in that Goma room was fantastic. Like, he was dancing like it was his job and didn't get hit by any of the fireballs from the 4 turrets or from the blue Goma. There was a ton of stuff going on in that room. That was brilliant.
Yeah, like, as much as we've been talking up Saber in his ability, Zar is absolutely no slouch at the game either. His combat is very well on point. And also, Saber getting the free pass with it asking for hearts or keys and electing to spend the keys because he has an infinite amount of them.
Yep, and that's always a fun little thing as a nice reward for having the any key. If you manage to come across one of those with it, then you can use it for free.
And Zar does pick up the Triforce out of level 1, so that does put him at his second. And Saber meets a 3-headed Gleeok, which... Or no, how about 4 heads? So, oh, we're going to try to fight it. Because why not?
It looks like the heads roll pretty low on HP.
Yeah, that's really good. Saber is also using the AB trick where he's actually swinging the sword and the wand on the same frame, which will actually do 3 damage to each Gleeok head rather than the 2 from the wand. So that also helps expedite that fight a little bit.
That was also a beautiful fight. Now, Zar doesn't have any of the hints that Saber has yet, so Zar doesn't know that one of the 2 items he's going to come across in this level 1 is the any key. You're definitely happy to see that. The interesting thing is going to be if Czardia decides to clear out some of these disgusting rooms to see if that's where the floor item is, or if he's going to wait and potentially have it be the Goma book.
And here we might have our item in level 6, and we do, and it is the Tootie Flute.
1 toot on this whistle will send you to a faraway land. And here, if your Saber is an interesting thing. Yeah, exactly what I was going to bring up here, is you know where level 2 is. So, you got the item out of 6. No need to dig for the Triforce in 6. There's no need to dig for the Triforce in 6 because you know where another dungeon is to find a Triforce there. So, you know, that's a, you know, again, 5 Triforces allows you to do things like that.
We actually have not seen the white sword item yet, so that is still at large, and that could very well be one of our key items, either the bow, the silver arrows, or the ladder.
And assuming it's the ladder, then one of our other key items could potentially be the coast. Also, huge find for Saber there, getting the compass in 2 right away. He knows he doesn't need the item out of 2 because he got the hint about it being the magic boomerang, so he can just go to town right now.
And he sees it, and he does pick it up, so congratulations, wow. TGE. You can stop calling this race because you now hate both of our runners.
Yes, I do now hate both of our runners. I'm still going to call the race, though, because I'm going to hope and pray for this squiggle of danger noodles.
No, Saber just stands on the pixel in the door frame where they can't touch him, but he can destroy them, picks up his Triforce, so he now has 5 Triforce. He can go to level 9 because he does know the general area, but given that he needs both the bow and the silver arrows and doesn't have the ladder, the likelihood of being able to do everything he needs to in 9 is still a little small right now, but we'll see what decision he does make.
Looks like he's heading up there. See, and this is one of those situations where we've been talking about it throughout the day here on Randomania, but getting information is huge. And being able to route out level 9, and say we find both items and we don't find the bow and silvers, we know where to go. We have the information that we need. So it's not a bad idea to at least go ahead and pick up that information now, so that when it comes time to go back and kill everything, you know exactly where to go.
Yeah, and here's the really interesting thing that for us as commentators, right now in our mind, it's a 33% chance that bow will be in 9, silvers will be in 9, ladder will be in 9, and 2 of the items that we don't know that makes it a 33% are two items you would normally see, and that's the White Sword item and the Coast item.
Right.
The other two items that we're missing right now is our second item in 8 and our item in 7.
Right. But see, the thing is, Saber doesn't know that. Saber doesn't know what the two items in 8 are. Saber doesn't know what the item in 7 is. So Saber's actually playing it on a much, not a huge different percentile, because he's got 6 items he has to play with as opposed to. So Saber's playing on a much different percentile chance than we are.
Absolutely, but he is playing the percentage anyway, and he is going into level 9. In addition to bow, silvers, ladder, anything, he is going to be looking for, or listening to, for a couple things. One is the roar of Ganon. Ganon's loud, so you will hear him from any of the adjacent rooms to the north, east, south, or west. He will also be looking, well, the compass makes this trivial, but he would be looking for a door that does not open once clearing all the enemies out, and because of it being Zelda, well, yeah, but he's also going to be checking these staircases because there are 2 items here in 9. There's a total of 14 staircases, so he may be looking for a little bit, but he does have book, so that helps him out a little bit.
Right, because there are also 3 dark rooms here, which are old men rooms, which can contain hints. Ladder's required.
Wow, so we do need the ladder, and that is because the silver arrows are on the coast there.
Wow, that's crazy. But as I was saying, there are 3 old men hints. So there are 4 possible hints you can get. The quadrant location of Ganon, the quadrant location of Zelda, the enemy that guards the compass, and whether or not the silver arrows are in 9 or not. Now at this point, if you're Saber, you want to see what quadrant Ganon's in and whether the silvers are here.
Absolutely. Now, the big thing for Saber is if ladder happens to be in 9 and he gets that hint, meaning he finds that before getting the hint about silvers. Because if he gets a hint that silvers are not in 9...
Czardia, making it up to me, finds the white sword item, it's Lord Banana, and Czardia, even though he has the blue one, picks it up anyway.
Well, that's okay, because we never actually see it in his inventory.
He still picked it up.
And then he immediately threw the blue boomerang to show you that it didn't matter. Yes, I am ruining this for you. I'm not letting you have that.
Wow. Somebody call the fun police. Is this payback for everything?
Probably. So Czardia is picking up the hints that we saw earlier on Saber's side, so he will learn about the raft not being needed, he will learn about the any key, which he already knows, and he will also learn about the magic boomerang, which he currently has in his inventory.
So you see those hints and you're just like, womp, womp, womp.
And he's going to retry to save some of that money. That's why we see a lot of save and retries in this. But not horrible. We'll save that money at least if he finds the rest of the hints at some point.
Something like that. And there's Saber getting the silver to kill the beast lies elsewhere hint. So that is good information to have.
Yeah, absolutely. If he finds Bowen here, it may also just cause him to immediately head out of level 9 to go search for that. But man, ladder's becoming more and more intriguing for level 9 itself because there are a lot of ladder blocks in here as well.
There are. And what we do know is the fact that raft isn't required. And level 7 is still at large. So the question now becomes is, where do you dig first?
Well, I mean, for Saber, you would probably think level 8 would be where he would go first because there are 2 items there.
Right.
And also, no one knows where level 7 is yet. So that could also have a little bit to do with it. But we are continuing on through 9, and Saber has a weird exploration, but is looking for as much information as possible. Because remember, not only is he trying to get items out of here, but he's trying to gain knowledge of where Ganon may be, and if this might be the potential path to Zelda, which it is, so at least he knows the path, or not Zelda, Link. He knows the path to Link.
Right, because when you're playing as when you're playing as a different sprite, if it's another sprite that exists in the game, the sprite you're playing as gets swapped out with Link. So for example, since we're playing as Zelda, we rescue Link. If you play as the merchant, for example, Link becomes your salesman. If you're playing as a Dark Nut, Link becomes the Dark Nuts.
Okay, that room could get pretty laggy too, I would assume.
Oh, all the keys?
Yes.
Alright, so if we're asking the question what a vodcast means, VOD in itself is an acronym for Video on Demand, and we are taking both of the VODs from our runners, Videos on Demand, and syncing them up and playing them side by side to act as if it is a live race, calling it as if it is a live race, but it's already been pre-recorded.
So say we're going to take these stairs again and head back over to another part of 9. It seemed like the very eastern part of 9, the far two right rows, the 9 and the blank, are pretty much restricted from a lot of the rest of the dungeon. So had to head back this way, and is going to clear out these dark nuts, apparently to head,
Bomb
west.
thing?
Yeah, he did get a bomb out of it, so at least a little bit of information. And here we have another staircase, and it might be an item. It is not.
How dare you be optimistic? The max big rupee prize, when it comes to the rupees, you have the small, medium, and large. The small can be anywhere between 1 rupee and 20 rupees. And we have some hints over there for Czardia. You're probably going to buy these here. Telling us that the book is in 3, which we knew. We're going to also find out that ladder is an 8.
8 has the ladder, so Czar knows that he will have to go back into 8 now. And step over the water.
Ladder blocked.
Wow. So we may have to go to 8, grab the ladder, grab the silver arrows, and Bo might be in 9 behind one of those river rooms.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, what a ladder block means is that there's a path to the bow that is ladder blocked. Doesn't necessarily mean that's the only path, but there is a path. Now back to the rupees thing. As I said, 1 to 20 is the small rupee, 25 to 40 is the medium rupee secret, and 50 to 150 is the large.
So at this point, with what Saber has seen, he has seen a lot of ladder blocks. He has seen a lot of staircases that have led to nowhere. My guess is if he finds the first item, and it is not the bow, which we know it's not, or we know it's not likely, or the ladder, which we know it won't be, my guess is he will immediately leave because he knows silvers aren't here. He knows he'll have to leave anyway. So my guess is 1 item and done for Saber if he doesn't exit even before that with all the ladder blocks. But with 7 being unknown, that's why I believe Saber will head to 8 first.
Oh, absolutely. You go to where you know as opposed to where you don't. Because why spend the time to look for something you don't know where it is when you know where something is? It just doesn't make sense.
Which would also include Saber avoiding trying to look for the white sword spot right now as well.
Right, but he probably will check the coast at some point.
And that is our 3rd Chevy room in level 9.
Looking to be more and more like we do have a ladder blocked bow in level 9 here. I said ladder, not Patra.
Man, this just not a fun room.
No. I mean, it's kind of like Patra 2, right, in the original? The Patra 2 skips, by the way. I hate doing Patra 2 skips.
And we find the white sword. So with this, Saber does get a little boost to his combat, but that actually, I mean, that tells him very unlikely that I'm going to find what I need. I know silvers aren't here, and that leaves me with very little. Gets information that he doesn't need because of the compass.
And Czar going back into 8.
So, while Czar is most likely going to get the ladder before Saber, definitely knows about the location of the silver arrows, knows the hint about stepping over the water to get the bow, I would say that it's not as demanding of information as you would think, only because Saber has explored almost all of 9.
Right. The other thing to keep in mind is look at the Triforce counts.
Yeah, Czar still does have quite a bit of ways to go in terms of Triforce. Now, he does have 2 and 4 that he can still clear out, and my guess would be by the time he finds the ladder here in 8, he'll have cleared out enough of it that he'll be able to get the Triforce as well. But, and oh my goodness, Saber doing paw strats on this Patra in this room is just insane.
Are you kidding me right now? Again, excuse me when I roll my jaw up off the floor.
And that post is Saber, and well, how about that? So Saber is trapped down into a room with Patra where he can't go anywhere, so he does elect to dig 9 just a little bit more, even knowing all the blocks that he has. Once again, he still knows he needs the bow. Quite possibly may think the ladder may be here as well. So there is a reason he is digging. Hopefully he'll be able to either make a little more headway or will realize he has to get out of here.
Yeah, but Czar so far having an interesting time going through level 8.
Yeah, level 8 can be a really weird level in terms of navigation because there are a few solid walls and just the paths that you may have to take to get certain places. But it does come across a reverse seat here, so... Do we have a manhandler? Oh, a beefy manhandler.
Thick manhandler. There's nothing more, you get there and then you're just like, I got the bomb. I don't get the bomb.
He does manage to kill it, and it is our
Ladder.
item, and there is our ladder. So, big for Czardia. Will be able to pick up his silver arrows now, but does have to catch up a little bit in the Triforce department as well before he can head into level 9.
And then, of course, there still becomes the dig for the bow.
Yes, and could we imagine Bo being in level 7 even though we don't know where level 7 is?
I can imagine it. And the commentator in me who loves Schadenfreude says yes, yes, yes. The player in me who doesn't like Schadenfreude is saying no, no, no. And I feel like there's an Amy Winehouse song reference in there.
You went that direction and said Daniel Bryan? I'm shocked. But there is the Triforce for Czardia out of level 8, so that puts him at 3. He still has 2 and 4 that he can grab the Triforce out of, which aren't too bad. The only problem is neither of them are really close to each other or to level 9.
Well, 4 is an up A away. Keep that in mind. Also, dost my eyes deceive me? I believe I just saw Saber buy a potion.
5 hearts and green tunic, even CrystalSaver will buy a potion.
And then immediately get more money. Hey, that's its vanilla location.
So Saber is now looking for potentially the white sword item in his navigation through. Looks like he is heading over to the general direction of level 8, so yeah, we'll see if that is the what he opts to do. Yeah, resetting this screen. I think he is just burning while he is heading towards level 8 to find anything he may potentially need, while Czardia picks up his silver arrows off the coast.
I mean, it makes absolute sense if you're Saver to go ahead and burn on your way in case you come across the white sword item. And Zara remembering, oh yeah, level 4's up here, I should probably go do that.
Yeah, now I don't believe Czardia found the item out of level 4.
I don't believe so either, but...
Saber, however, is now on level 8.
So here's the one thing we do know, is that based on that step over the water hint that Zara got, the bow is not the second item one.
Oh, correct. We actually did not see that item either. Because we know that the heart that we saw in that level behind the keys was actually the dungeon heart, because the other heart was in level 5.
Yep. Yeah, so Zara going to go ahead and make quick work of these Stalfos. So this is another point where Saber has a nice little advantage with that white sword.
Absolutely. Combat is made a lot quicker if he opts to even fight people.
And Saber does make the correct path here. This is going to be the ladder.
Yes, and we're going to see a fun Manhandla fight here for Saber. Half a heart with tanked Manhandla. Does a really good job of using pause strats to line up Manhandla as well for the bombs.
And Zara going to go ahead and pick up the wand in level 4 and immediately get keysed. Saber now opting to switch from bomb to wand strats, mostly because he's out of bombs. But the crazy thing about this is the one item that he needed to pick up was the ladder. Because this is going to unlock the silver arrows on the coast, and in Saber's mind, he has to be thinking that this is going to also unlock the rest of the mine.
And just to, make everything better, he does the double clip. And there is Saber's ladder. He's super happy to see that. Now, remember, Saber still has not been to the coast, so he actually doesn't know it's silver arrows, but with the amount of items that he's already seen, he has to have deduced, okay, I gotta get over there because it has to be one of the items.
Right, so what you're going to do if you're Saber is you're more than likely going to poke around here for the second item because you're already here. Then what you're going to do is you're probably going to swing over to the coast, or you're just going to say nope and swing over to the coast right now. Oh no, Zara didn't get the wand, he got keys before he grabbed the wand.
Got keys again, but at least he had more than half a heart there.
Right, so yeah, Saber's going to go down to the coast immediately, and he's going to be super happy to find his silvers here.
And so with all that we have seen, we do know that if the bow is in 9, which we are very likely assuming now, only because we have all those ladder blocks and we know that the ladder is required to get the bow, chances are that the item remaining in 1 and the item in level 7 would be the red ring and the red candle. Those are the only 2 items we haven't seen. And Czardia does pick up his Triforce level 4, so that does put him at 4, while Saber had just grabbed his silver arrows. So looks like he will examine a little bit more to try to find not only bombs, but this white sword item.
And Saber's buying a blue ring.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
There is, but now we have Cotton Candy Zelda with the pretty white dress.
Embracing his full Elsa.
Let it go, man.
So Zara going to clip over towards that forgotten spot,
which was just some delicious rupees.
Oh my goodness, Saber at this point in the game doesn't even have enough to pick up the white sword item.
It's a 6-heart banana.
That is probably the funniest thing I've seen all tournament.
He's looking for 7.
Probably had a few more places to check. That does put him at 6 hearts now, so, I mean, if you really wanted the banana, you could go back and grab it, but, I mean, with the ladder being in level 8 like it is, and the silvers being on the coast there, I don't think he's going to waste time to go do that. He may actually feel like he's behind at this point.
Yep, using the recorder to head back up towards the Death Mountain area. Yeah, blowing the 3, so we're heading back over to 9.
And Zara is heading back into 5, possibly, maybe his best choice, because 5 is the closest to 9 that he still has remaining. So grabbing the Triforce out of here instead of out of level 2, because remember, he still does not have Recorder.
Right, because Recorder was at 6. But Saber is making his way back to level 9.
Now the question is what ladder block does he pick first?
I'm going to go with the first one he comes to.
Now remember, he actually doesn't know that it's a ladder block. He's only assuming that it has to be something behind one of those because he's ran into so many. So that's probably where he's going to go, just because that opens up the most exploration. We do see a lot of voids in his level 9, so there's still a lot of places to explore that aren't actually close together. So this could actually be a little bit more of a time sink yet.
No, absolutely. And of course, the other thing is Saber has to be thinking in his mind that the item in 1 is blocked by that Goma. So in his mind, this is probably a 50-50 gamble.
Yeah, Czardia going to pick up his heart just to get him to that 9 heart range. Now, that is actually beneficial because that actually puts him outside of the 2 Hyrule Driver range.
I believe Zar bought a blue ring too.
Possibly. I believe he does play with vanilla color, so that's very likely. But okay, it puts him outside of the 4 Hyrule Driver range.
So now we're going to go ahead and take this staircase in 5 to get ourselves back up to the Triforce area. And that's going to put Zar in, and there it is. There's the bow.
So Saber has found the bow, so now it is just a matter of getting to the pig, making some bacon, and then Zelda gets to play heroin and rescue Link.
No, but Zar gonna go ahead and ladder makes navigating this room full of blue wizards much easier.
Now Saber with the potions, white sword, blue ring,
and a recorder. Recorder.
Yeah, and his recorder. Really in a good situation here for Ganon. Not even bothering with the recorder, just because, yeah, there's Sunlock 6, 7, and 8, and ladies and gentlemen, we have bacon. And Zar peeked back into level 3 quick. Probably forgot why he was doing that. Probably didn't know why he was doing that, but we'll now, it looks like, head up towards where level 9 is, so he may make the same play that Bo's in 9, which, once again, he knows a lot of information. The only ones that he doesn't is the second level second item in 1, the item in level 7, and the item in level 6.
So he doesn't know as much information as Saber does, but he's still making his way up to 9, which I think is the right call here. But Saber going to go ahead and find himself a link, and that is going to do it. So CrystalSaver going to go ahead and finish the time of approximately 1 hour, 2 minutes, and we'll say 48 seconds.
So get your GGs out for Saber, as Czardia does head into level 9.
Yep, the good thing for Zar, though, is The bow was actually pretty quickly in on this route on 9. So, assuming he follows the same path Saber did, which I believe it's pretty linear to start with, it shouldn't be too far before he finds himself the bow. And we know the compass is pretty early on this path, because it means Zara already has it. Alrighty, and keep in mind here that this has been a marathon of vodcasts all here on Randomania today. So, I do want to remind everybody that in addition to all of these vodcasts, we do have our one final match tonight. It's going to be at 9 p.m. And following that match, and I believe the conclusion of the Router's Relish Battle Royal, over on twitch.tv/CrimsonAvix, there will be the Week 5 reveal stream for the matchups. So that's going to be, figure about 11:30 Eastern Time as a good starting point.
Yeah, I believe that sounds about accurate. Should be a lot of fun to do, and there is a little bit of information, so that it's also important to stop by if you can to hear that information as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And also, if you haven't done so already, please follow both of our runners. That's twitch.tv/Czardia and twitch.tv/CrystalSaver. Give them both a follow for putting on a fantastic show. Also, big shout outs to all the people behind the scenes here. It's the Randomania people, and our tracker for this of the matches that we've been doing, that it was the one and only Dark Falls. And of course, well, I suppose I can thank you, right, Grim?
You don't have to.
Good, I don't want to.
So, Zar is still navigating his way through level 9, running into pretty much what has been standard for this tournament, where for most of the matches, the go mode item is the bow.
Mm.
So,
I do like a fletch quest.
These puns make me quiver.
Not just gonna string me along, I like it.
You know me, I get straight to the point.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to cite this as for future reference when he starts to make bad Save Meek references about my puns. Reference this for the fact that he joined in.
And there's Zardia finds his bow, so we'll be able to go ahead and skewer some bacon for us. Now, unlike Saber, Zar does not have the wood sword or the white sword unless he happens to come across it in his navigation here, which that is not it. So, if he happens to find the white sword before Ganon, it will make his fight a little easier. Otherwise, he's going to have to either... Well, not either. It's going to be 15 hits on Ganon. And hi, Patra.
Bye, Patra.
So, he's already making his way down to roughly the area where Ganon is. We know that he is down in the southeast based off of where Saber fought him. It is the same seed, so that will not change. If it does, we do need to go talk to Fred a little bit.
Yes.
But either that or Krim, grabbed the wrong VOD, but I doubt that at this point. Zar still navigating a little bit. Having the bombs that he does and the Anakeys, it's not really that he's going to run out of resources. It's just a matter of finding the path that leads to Ganon. Like Saber, he already has the compass, so doesn't really have to look for a path there. Just has to listen for that roar.
Roar.
Not that roar.
Meow.
And wow, Zar's 9 is relatively tame. However, is avoiding going to the right, which will actually be the path that leads him to Ganon.
Nice, aesthetically pleasing, even 200 rupees. Way to go and ruin it, Czar.
He heard you.
Obviously.
A week and a half ago, he knew you were going to say that.
I bet.
Czar heading through these passages should bring him actually really close to Ganon here. And the fact that he's bombing right, almost guaranteed that he knows where Ganon is. And, well...
That was not it.
No, but this is. So...
Here's Piggy.
Czardia once again needs 15 hits on Ganon. Trying to get him into the bottom left corner here to get the stun lock. Of course, Ganon never wants to cooperate. But I do believe... Ooh. Rough death there for Czardia.
Got drivered.
Now, does Czardia have a potion?
I believe so.
So we may see him opt to have that ready for the second go at Ganon. We'll try to find a much quicker path, which that will be a much quicker path. Old man telling us stuff that we don't need to know. And hey, look. It's the direct path to Ganon. And very smart there to at least kill the Stalfos to try to get that heart drop. At least for a little more health. If he does take another death, we may even see him try to manipulate and fairy drop there as well.
Where's the games?
For his.
So Czar taking on Ganon right now.
There we go.
And there we finally have our bacon. And he can now go save the princess.
So we're just going to go up, 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 right, up, left, down, AP, start, select, or something like that, right?
Sure. Isn't that the ACE?
No, that involves a recorder, some guineas, and the Japanese card.
Yeah, I don't think either of our runners are running on that. And, well, Czardia also does find the bad news here. Well, it's not quite that easy. But I think is able to bomb right here and get into Zelda's room that way. Or maybe not.
Nope.
So is going to up A and try again. You have to get over into that right side somehow.
Yeah, you got to bomb right from one of these rooms. Not that one.
Or not even bomb right, just walk right.
Yeah, you could do that too, I guess. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Oh, that didn't work. There are only so many paths.
Can you find the right one?
Could you imagine not having the compass for this?
Oh my word, no. No compass for this would be a pain. But we just gotta make it through the Darknet Wilderness here. And that is going to do it. Czar gonna go ahead and blow up the fire. And that is gonna be it for Czardia versus Saver. Czar gonna finish him with a time of approximately 1 hour, 12 minutes, and we'll say 42 seconds.